keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district.
Just moments ago, Colin Cowherd shook the sports world with a bombshell announcement about none other than Caitlin Clark, the basketball sensation taking the nation by storm. Whether you've followed her jaw-dropping plays or her headline-making journey, this breaking update is something no fan can afford to miss. What did Cowherd reveal that has everyone, from ESPN analysts to everyday fans, talking? Grab your seat and stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, we're diving deep into the announcement that's redefining Caitlin Clark's future in the game. Colin Cowherd celebrates Caitlin Clark's breakthrough moment. Ever since Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, the league has experienced a remarkable upswing in popularity. Ticket sales skyrocketed, arenas began selling out, national media turned its attention toward women's basketball, and a wave of new fans poured in. Much of this renewed excitement has been centered around one name, Caitlin Clark, the electrifying guard for the Indiana Fever. However, while the media eagerly embraced Clark as the league's rising star and even its savior, not everyone in the WNBA was quick to celebrate. Many veteran players felt uneasy. After years of dedication and hard work, some believed the spotlight was unfairly shifting away from them and shining solely on the league's newest face. For a time, there was quiet tension. It wasn't about Clark's talent. Everyone could see she was gifted. It was about the narrative that her arrival alone had revolutionized the WNBA. That's why sports analyst Colin Cowherd's recent announcement felt so significant. On his show The Herd, Cowherd shared the results of a new poll among WNBA players that named Caitlin Clark as the future face of the league. With a commanding 55% of the vote, Clark was recognized by her peers as the player most likely to lead the WNBA forward over the next 5 years. For Cowherd, this was more than just a poll result. It was a breakthrough moment. In a stunning development, Cowherd began with a smile, WNBA players are acknowledging Caitlin Clark's really good. He emphasized how powerful this shift was, especially in a league that has long operated on the margins of mainstream sports media. To go from being ignored to being widely discussed and even criticized is tough. It was a tsunami of attention. You went from the shadows to the spotlight overnight. According to Cowherd, what once felt like resentment is slowly turning into recognition. He acknowledged that many WNBA players were understandably frustrated at first. The sudden fame surrounding Clark may have felt like their years of effort were being bypassed. But now, there's a growing realization that Caitlin's presence is good for everyone. Her fame has brought in more exposure, more opportunities, and a bigger stage for all players to perform on. Cowherd likened Clark's rise to that of legendary athletes like LeBron James, Tiger Woods, and Mike Tyson, young talents who quickly drew national attention, often faster than veterans were comfortable with. He explained that in every industry, especially sports, it can be hard for longtime contributors to accept the sudden rise of a newcomer. But when the newcomer delivers and brings everyone up with them, respect eventually follows. And that's exactly what's happening now. The fact that her peers voted her the future of the league, Cowherd said, that's huge. That's the kind of validation that means something. For Caitlin Clark, the journey hasn't just been about making headlines. It's been about proving herself to those who matter most. Now, with fans cheering, teammates adjusting, and fellow players acknowledging her role, it seems Caitlin Clark is not just the league's brightest star. She's its future. Caitlin Clark has been flying high in her career, wowing fans with her stunning moves. How do her colleagues and opponents see her? What do the referees think of her? Let's find out. Caitlin Clark, between the refs and the fans. If you've ever seen Caitlin Clark take the court, you know she's not just there to dribble the ball or sink three-pointers. She shows up to own game, every single part of it, even the referees. Her presence isn't just seen in the box scores or highlight reels. It's felt in every corner of the court, from her unstoppable drives to the way she stares down an official. She plays with fire, intensity, and a boldness that grabs everyone's attention and refuses to let go. In a now viral game, Caitlin Clark electrified the crowd, not just with her performance, but with raw passion. During a heated moment, she boldly shouted, "That's a bad call!" at the referee mid-play. Her fierce eyes, steady voice, and sharp gestures turned the protest into a powerful statement. Fans weren't just impressed, they were captivated, celebrating her fearless demand for fairness and intensity on the court. The clip has made waves online. One fan posted, "Refs probably start sweating the minute Caitlin steps into the building." Another commented, "She's not just a player, she's a future coach in the making. You don't teach fire like that, it's born." Her passion is becoming just as legendary as her step-back threes and no-look passes. What makes Clark so fascinating isn't just the talent, it's her raw honesty. She doesn't pretend, she doesn't hold back, and she never plays it safe. Whether she's leading a fast break or questioning a referee's call, she's fearless. And that fearlessness is exactly what fans love about her. She's not just entertaining to watch, she's inspiring. She's the kind of athlete who makes you want to stand up and cheer, even when she's arguing with the ref. Importantly, she doesn't cross the line into disrespect. She's not being rude, she's being real. Her confrontations are never for attention. They come from a deep drive for fairness and excellence. She holds herself, her teammates, and yes, even the officials to the highest standard. And in doing so, she raises the level of the game for everyone. Caitlin Clark is becoming more than a star player. She's a movement. She's changing how people see leadership on the court. She's fierce, she's unfiltered, and she's impossible to ignore. Whether you're a lifelong basketball fan or just tuning in for the buzz, one thing's clear. Caitlin Clark doesn't just play the game, she defines it. Apart from Colin Cowherd's announcement about Caitlin Clark, what has the sports commentator said about her in the recent past? Let's dive into the details of Cowherd's comment on players that have taken the sport to the next level. How Caitlin and Angel Reese shook the sports world's foundations. Get ready, because this is where things take a dramatic turn. What started out as a lighthearted chat between two respected giants of sports media, Colin Cowherd and Ryan Russillo, suddenly took a jaw-dropping direction. These are two men who've spent years covering the biggest stories in sports. They've watched legends rise, dynasties fall, and trends come and go. But even with all that experience, they made an unexpected admission. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have completely changed the way the entire sports calendar is handled. Yes, two young women in college basketball are now reshaping billion-dollar media strategies. It all came out during a seemingly casual conversation. Colin was discussing his upcoming vacation plans, trying to figure out when to take time off, as sports hosts typically do between major sports seasons. That's when he said something truly eye-opening. According to Colin, Caitlin Clark's impact has been so enormous that media executives have had to rethink their entire schedule around her. In the past, the NFL preseason was enough to keep things interesting in August. It was the fallback content, the filler before the real action began. But now, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are the real stars of the summer. Colin didn't just throw out her name casually. He admitted he did 15 full-length segments just on Caitlin and Angel. Why? Because the numbers were insane. The engagement was through the roof. People were watching, commenting, clicking, and sharing like never before. Sports fans simply couldn't get enough. They weren't tuning in for the usual NFL drama or NBA updates. They were coming back again and again to follow these two young women who had captured the nation's attention. And this isn't just some short-lived internet hype. This is historic. Think back to the Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson rivalry that transformed the NBA in the 1980s. It wasn't just two great players battling it out. It was a moment that elevated an entire sport. That's what's happening now, but in women's college basketball. It's bigger than just a game. It's changing how media companies operate, how networks plan their coverage, and even when top hosts take vacation. Two college athletes, both under 25, are setting the pace for what the sports world talks about. That's not just unusual, that's unprecedented. Usually, this kind of influence is reserved for superstars in the pros, people like LeBron James, Patrick Mahomes, or Serena Williams. But now, Caitlin and Angel have taken that spotlight while still wearing their college jerseys. The power of their rivalry, their charisma, and the cultural wave they've created is so strong that it's forcing powerful executives to pay attention. These young women are not just stars, they're game changers. They're rewriting the playbook for what matters in sports media. So, let it really sink in. We're witnessing a shift where two women, still in college, are commanding headlines, driving massive audience engagement, and transforming how sports are consumed across America. That's not just impressive, that's revolutionary. In addition to her swift rise into spotlights, Caitlin Clark seems to be changing the trajectory in women's basketball. What change did she bring to the sports? Let's dig into the details. The summer drought is over. For a long time, the sports calendar followed a familiar rhythm. Summers were traditionally quiet. Most of the major leagues were off, athletes were on vacation, and fans shifted their attention to barbecues, beach trips, or anything but game scores. Sports broadcasters and media outlets used this time to rest and regroup, knowing there wasn't much to cover, or anyone really paying attention. But recently, that pattern has been completely disrupted. And the reason can be summed up in two words: Caitlin Clark. This young basketball phenom hasn't just made waves, she's created a tidal shift. Even when the games don't count, whether it's the off-season, preseason, or a casual exhibition, if Caitlin's on the court, people are tuning in. She's become the main attraction, turning what used to be the slowest, least exciting time of the year into a buzzing media frenzy. In a period when sports shows used to struggle to fill time, Caitlin Clark has made every second count. Media personality Colin Cowherd broke it down in a way only someone inside the business truly could. In the world of radio and television, every single minute is tracked. Analysts know exactly which segments grab viewers' attention and which ones fall flat. And during the long, dull stretch of summer, when most stories disappear into the void, anything with Caitlin Clark's name on it explodes. Her videos, rivalries, and game highlights consistently soar to the top of trending charts. She doesn't just generate interest, she dominates it. Caitlin Clark isn't just admired for her scoring. She captivates fans with her passion, authenticity, and bold presence. In a sports world often polished and scripted, she stands out as real and relatable. Whether it's challenging a call, hitting a game winner, or cheering loudly from the bench, every move she makes is raw and genuine. That unfiltered energy is what truly draws people to her and makes her unforgettable. Caitlin Clark has managed to bring the fun back to sports. She's reignited the excitement, the emotion, and the unpredictability that fans miss in today's game. For networks and broadcasters, she's a goldmine. For fans, she's a thrill ride. And for other athletes, she's a serious reminder. Step up your game. Her ongoing rivalry with Angel Reese only adds fuel to the fire. Every matchup between them is more than just a game. It's a cultural moment. The tension, the talent, the trash talk, it's all part of the package that keeps people watching and talking. Viewers aren't just checking scores, they're emotionally invested. Social media erupts with every highlight, press conference, and post-game exchange. Caitlin's impact is reshaping how we talk about women's sports too. She's not just attracting viewers, she's breaking records. Ticket sales, merchandise, online views, everything she touches turns into a headline. Her story proves that women's sports can not only match the drama and thrill of the men's side, but in some cases, even surpass it. She has made it impossible to ignore the power of personality, performance, and passion, no matter the gender. In short, Caitlin Clark has become a force of nature. She's rewriting the rules of sports media, giving summer its spark back, and proving that greatness doesn't wait for the right season. It shows up, plays hard, and makes the world watch. Many who are just knowing her for the first time are asking, How did she become an icon at such an age? What are her track records like? Let's delve into the details. Caitlin Clark's rise on the global stage. Caitlin Clark's journey with Team USA on the international basketball stage is a remarkable story of growth, grit, and gold. Her first appearance came in 2017 at the FIBA Under-16 Women's Americas Championship in Buenos Aires, Argentina. At just 15 years old, she wasn't a starter, but her presence off the bench made a big difference. Averaging 8.8 points per game, she played a key role in pushing the team to an undefeated 5-0 run, ultimately capturing the gold medal. It was a glimpse of the star she was becoming. 2 years later, Clark took another leap, this time playing in the 2019 FIBA Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup in Bangkok, Thailand. Though her scoring dipped to 5.3 points per game, she contributed consistently across all 7 games and helped her team stay unbeaten again with a flawless 7-0 record. Another gold medal was added to her growing collection, and the experience laid more groundwork for her leadership on the court. In 2021, Caitlin Clark returned to the Under-19 World Cup in Hungary as a standout leader. She dominated the tournament, averaging 14.3 points, 5.6 assists, and 5.3 rebounds per game. Her exceptional performance earned her the MVP title and a place on the all-tournament team. With Clark leading the charge, Team USA went undefeated and claimed the gold medal, showcasing her rising stardom and vital role in the team's continued international success. By March 2024, Clark's reputation had soared. Her college performances had captivated the country, and her name had become a household one in women's basketball. She was the only college player among 14 elite athletes invited to attend the final training camp for the United States national team ahead of the 2024 Summer Olympics. However, a scheduling conflict kept her from attending the camp. She was leading her college team in the NCAA tournament at the same time. Despite her soaring popularity and extraordinary college career, Clark was not selected for the final Olympic roster. The decision sparked widespread debate, with many fans and analysts questioning why such a high-impact, widely celebrated player was left off. The Olympic Selection Committee later explained that their choices were based on criteria like adaptability to international play and prior experience with the senior national team, factors that ultimately weighed against Clark's inclusion. Though her Olympic dream was paused, Caitlin Clark's rise in American basketball continues to be one of the most exciting stories in sports today. For a profile as rich as Caitlin Clark's, it is only normal to be the game changer on the court. But how much of a force is she in the game? Let's find out. Caitlin Clark plays the game and rewrites the rules. Here's the truth, plain and powerful. Caitlin Clark is no longer just a college basketball player. She's a phenomenon, a game changer, a walking revolution. What she's doing on and off the court is shaking the foundation of women's sports and rewriting the rules of how female athletes are seen, celebrated, and followed. And here's the kicker, we're only at the beginning of this story. From her no-look passes to her logo-range three-pointers, Caitlin brings more than just skills to the game. She brings fire. She doesn't just play basketball, she commands attention. She calls out referees mid-game without blinking. She silences arenas packed with doubters. She draws TV ratings that rival and sometimes beat those of professional men's teams. And she's doing all of this before turning pro. Caitlin is forcing decision-makers in boardrooms and newsrooms to pay attention. Executives at networks, editors at sports publications, and producers behind major broadcasts are asking questions they've never seriously considered before. Should we be investing more in women's sports? Is this the turning point we've been waiting for? How do we capture and keep the Caitlin Clark audience? Here's the wild part. Even if you've never cared about women's college basketball, Caitlin Clark pulls you in. She makes you care, because every time she steps on the court, she creates a moment. A buzzer beater, a highlight reel pass, a jaw-dropping stat line. But it's more than just numbers and plays. She plays with a passion that grips you, with a fire that lights up every arena she steps into. Young girls watching her don't just see a player, they see a possibility, a reason to dream bigger, a role model who proves that confidence and talent aren't limited by gender. Parents who bring their daughters to her games end up just as hooked. She challenges the culture of sports by refusing to shrink herself. She embraces pressure. She thrives on expectations. She plays with the intensity of someone who knows she belongs on the biggest stages and isn't waiting for permission to take them. What we're witnessing isn't just a player having a good season, it's the beginning of a movement. Caitlin Clark is changing the narrative. She's becoming the measuring stick for what greatness looks like in college sports, regardless of gender. And when she argues with referees or fires up a crowd with a dagger 3, it's not about controversy. It's about courage. She's showing the world that women can be fierce, outspoken, passionate competitors without apology. She's breaking the mold of how female athletes are expected to behave and replacing it with something bold, real, and entirely her own. She's not just part of the game anymore. She is the game. Her name is now shorthand for excellence, energy, and edge. And she's not playing to fit in. She's playing to change everything. So whether you're a longtime fan or a first-time viewer, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark is here. She's fearless. She's electrifying. And she's not waiting for the future to happen. She is the future, reshaping it with every shot, every stare down, and every game she plays. This isn't just sports history in the making. It's sports history being rewritten, one Caitlin Clark moment at a time. So do you really think Caitlin's ability is now acknowledged by colleagues and opponents? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.